Hi there, we are going to sharpen a knife today. This is a kitchen knife of mine that I use, and it's way too dull for my liking, and a dull knife is a dangerous knife, especially in the kitchen. And so I just want to touch it up. I want to get it back sharp again so I don't wind up cutting my hand off trying to cut vegetables or whatever. So anyway, this is my work sharp. This is what I'm using. I typically use a work sharp on a knife that's like this large, and the reason why is because I'm not a super sharpener. I'm not a great knife sharpener. I don't have any like big stones or anything, so I feel real uncomfortable with a larger knife on a smaller stone. I just like to have room to work, and so on kitchen knives like this I do prefer to use the work sharp. So I've got a 220 grit, the red belt on there, and it's lined up, it's ready to go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to put it 5 passes on one side. I'm going to check for a burr, 5 passes on another side. Now I want to show you something. If you look closely at this knife, you will see that right there is an indentation that goes upward, if you will. Okay, and what that is from improperly using this work sharp. What had happened with this knife is I got a nick in the blade up here, and so I needed to kind of reprofile it so I could get that nick out of there. And what I did not know when I very first started using this machine is that you do not start it and put the blade in. You put the blade in first and then you start it. Okay, if you start it first and put the blade in, that's what will happen to you. The second thing you really need to know about these machines is how not to round the tips off. And the way that people round the tips off on these is because they keep it running all the way out. They pull the knife all the way out with the machine still running. You want to stop the machine with the blade halfway across the belt. Okay, so that's when you want to stop the machine, when the tip of the blade is at the halfway point of the belt. Then you can remove the blade. And so it's a real simple process. I'm not going to talk while I do it. I'm just going to real quick, I'm going to do both sides. I'm going to do 5 on this side here. Oop, I did go off the edge on that. And then so after you do your 5 times, you should have a burr, okay? And I do feel a pretty consistent burr all the way across that edge there. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to remove, I'm actually going to put the burr back on the other side, on my side. So what I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, and now I should have put the burr back on this side, which I do feel it nice and even on that side. So now what we want to do is, you would normally unplug your machine, safety first, right? Pull the guard off, and what I'm going to do is push this down and twist it, and that will hold that down, and I'm going to remove the 220 belt. Now this is a 6,000 grit belt, and so I'm going to put it on. And you want to make sure that you get your belt on all the way. You want to make sure that you get it all the way on that drive wheel down there. I don't know if you'll see it. You want to make sure it's all the way on the drive wheel, all the way on that wheel back here. And then you just want to untwist that. Check your alignment. I can live with that. Put your guide back on. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to go from side to side, and we're going to do that for 10 times or 10 cycles. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. 4. 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and now we shouldn't have a burr on either side, and I do not feel a burr, and it should actually be pretty sharp at this point. Now you can continue to use that 6000 grit if you want, and you can strop it a little bit more if you want. It actually does feel like it's got a pretty good edge on it. However, I am going to remove the guide. I'm going to push that down. I'm going to remove this belt, and I'm going to get a Super Strop leather belt. And I wrote, and I know you're going to be able to tell which ones you used on which, the green or the white, but I went ahead and took a Sharpie anyway and wrote on it just in case. So I just wrote green on the inside of it with a Sharpie, and we're going to put it on. The green, I did get the kit that came with both the green and the white, and the green is going to be more abrasive than the white. So you put it on there, and then what you're going to want to do, and this is supposed to push out easily, mine didn't quite so much, so it is what it is. You want to apply a little bit of compound, and then you just want to run a couple of times on each side. You do not want to use a guard. Here, let me just show you here. Okay, so I put a little bit on there, and I'm going to go ahead and kick it on. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. Probably got off there a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to run it on there one more time. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Well, I can really feel that that edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this strop here, or this leather belt. Okay, I'm going to set it out of the way, and we're going to put this one on. And as you can see, I've got white written on the inside of it. We're going to do the same thing, just going to put the belt on the machine, maybe. That's the goal anyway. Not all the way on there. Got to make sure that's on there good. Okay. Alright, look like we're running pretty good there. So, now we're going to take and push out our white compound a little bit here. I'm going to put a little bit on. Okay. We're going to do the same thing with this. We're just going to do it a couple of times on each side. And that side. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Now we're talking. I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time. Add a little more compound. Get that out of the way. Wow. Yeah. That is, that's a nice sharp blade. Now, have to, do the actual test. I mean, it's got to be an honest test here, right? So this is what I was having problems really fighting with, was onions. So, and they're not the freshest of onions. So, but I'll tell you what. That sure is a heck of a lot sharper than it was before. I'm not afraid to cut onions with that knife now. I'll tell you what, I was a little bit concerned to do it before because, like I said, you had to use a lot of pressure. It was just a dull knife. I'll leave a link in the description of the video for the work sharp machines here, as well as the super strop that you can buy. So, excellent machines. I really enjoy and appreciate mine. Anyway, hope you learned something. I hope you have an incredible day, and shalom.